Hello my friends and welcome back. I'm Chisco Gaming, and in today's video, sponsored by the makers of Age of Empires Mobile, I want to talk about how you can get an incredible rank in Alliance Glory. This is an event that shows up periodically and is incredibly rewarding, both for you and your alliance. In fact, if I get a look here, you can see that our alliance has been performing incredibly well, our family of alliances is doing incredibly well, and the rewards here are pretty lucrative. I think this is 50 legendary skill scrolls for every member of the alliance, not to mention 200 epic skill scrolls. Hey yo, and the speeds and the resources, not bad. But at a personal level, if you push your rank, you can get a ton of rewards too. 150 legendary skill scrolls. Let's go. So how do you get points in this event? Well, it's pretty straightforward. There is a board full of quests. This is an individual board. These are your quests, and you can accept 5 quests a day and get points for those quests. But you can extend that to up to 10 total quests per day using your Empire coins. Now you may think, well, bro, spending Empire coins, is this really the place to do it? I thought that it was, because skill scrolls are amazing, and I'm locking up first place, and I'll tell you exactly the technique that I used to go and do that. So I'm buying all 5 of these every single day. I'm not going to buy them just yet, because there's a quest to spend Empire coins. So depending on how many Empire coins you have, you might want to wait for that quest to show up. Now, in addition, okay, you can also refresh quests that are here in order to get a different quest. The quests that you can get range from as low as 10 points to, I've found, as high as 100 points. Ideally, I'm not doing any quests less than 50 points in value, and I only do a quest like that when I have no other option. But good news, you do have other options, because in addition, okay, to refreshing these quests, which, by the way, I can go in here and I can do 5 refreshes per day. And I have to pay Empire coins to do some of those refreshes. Each one of these quest slots will refresh after 24 hours of no action on that particular slot. In other words, if I have a slot like this one right here, let's say, okay, in case you can't see it, this one right here, after 24 hours of having this quest as an option, I will be given a different quest. It will be replaced. So not only can you refresh, I think it's about 5 times with some amount of Empire coins, but also if you play your cards right, you can get 8 of these quests refresh for free every single day. Now, again, that doesn't happen at reset. It happens, that timer starts counting down from the moment you completed a quest or it switches over. So right around reset today, that's 0 UTC, this quest in the upper right, it was worth 100 points in the event. It was to go and buy some bundles worth Empire coins. I went and I did that quest. And then I got this 20-point quest underneath it. And I thought, let me go record this video now, because when I go and I refresh, this is very important if you want to get a high score. I don't go and refresh the lowest point quest on the board. I refresh the quest that most recently turned up to be 20 or 10 points. You see what I mean? So I just finished this quest. It was worth 100 points. Now I have a 20-point quest there. I will refresh this one, and I will let all other 7 slots refresh naturally over the next, 24 hours or so, because that's, over the last 24 hours, I didn't touch these quest slots. And I try to do as much of this as I can around reset as well to help. So I'm going to go and I'll refresh this now. Okay. So 5 refreshes per day. I'm going to hit confirm. Looks like the first one's free. I got a 50-point quest. I might take this quest. If I'm being patient, what I would do is just wait. And I would just wait for some of these other slots to refresh over the next 24 hours so that maybe I'll get 100 quests and I'll get to do that one for free. Okay, that is an option. Now, just to review what these different quests are. These different quests include a variety of activities. The easiest of which, in my opinion, is just gathering some amount of resources. Super easy. The next easiest, in my opinion, is just spending some amount of speed ups. Very, very easy. The next quest that I think is easy but costs you more is going to be training troops. And training troops, you can do the lowest tier of troop if you want to. Okay. The advantage of that is that it's low speed ups. The disadvantage is your city's going to start to get full of low tiers of troops. That is not good. The reason that's not good is if you get attacked, then your hospital could be more likely to overflow. And your hospital, I think, would be more likely to be filled with your lower tiers of troops before your higher tiers of troops. I don't know if that's true, but I think it might be true. Either way, you don't want to have excess troops in your city. In my perfect world, I'm always updating low tiers of troops to higher tiers of troops so that I don't run the risk of a hospital overflow situation. So my recommendation to you to hedge against that for this particular quest, and this is a big, big tip, is that when you go and you train low tiers of troops, you're going to get a lot of those quests to train troops. So I have spread it out across all 4 of my troop training buildings. Okay. Now I also did, some T2s, some T3s, but I have some cavalry. Okay. And then I'm upgrading them from low tier to high tier. I have some archers, and I'm upgrading them from low tier to high tier, okay? Same is true for swordsmen. Same is true for pikemen. I'm mentioning this to you because if I did all my low tier troops with just pikemen, that's only 1 troop training queue that can be turning those low tier troops to high tier troops. So passively, I have all four of my troop training queues taking those low tier troops, making them higher tier, okay? Now this gets harder and harder the higher tier of troop you unlock, because the time goes way up from, training a low tier troop to a high tier troop. So it is what it is. That quest gets a lot harder the further along you get with your city's development. And if we go back on over here, we go to the Alliance Glory event. There is another quest, 2 of them. They get much harder over time. One of them is completing tech research. Now, in a perfect world, right, the higher tier version of this quest is going to be completing research 5 times for 100 points. There's another one that's also completing buildings 5 times for 100 points. And I believe it was Sonic from my alliance who gave the advice, like, trust me, bro, don't go back and upgrade your fast to research stuff just yet. Don't go back and upgrade your production buildings just yet. Wait for this event. And this was the event. And now it showed up and it's like, aha, I see why. Because what I'll do is I'll just speed up these buildings that are like 5 or 6 hours each tops. I think they're only like 1 or 2 hours for me currently because the levels are so low for the majority of these excess buildings, right? Now the research is a little more tricky. It's a good bit more expensive. But in your perfect world, you're saving your speed ups for other bigger events like the Mightiest Governor perhaps, or in a nice world like we have right now, there's a research center event and there's rankings to this event. There's ranking rewards. They're not amazing for this particular event, but ideally you could combine some of these events and get some extra rewards, right? Like, and I don't know if Mightiest Governor will align with Alliance Glory. For us, it did not. So to minimize the amount of speed ups that I'm using, that is a really cool trick for buildings and research to be able to go in, not spend a ton of speed ups, but get those really high value quests. And this is a quest I could go and do. I kind of want to speed up some research anyways, so we'll see. One of the final quest formats you're going to end up getting is this one over here. And this is arguably the hardest, and it's smashing help, okay? Help your allies. It is 200 helps for the 100-point version of this quest. And the 100-point version of this quest is what you want to find. So if that happens, there are a few tricks. I learned these from my allies. Some of them I figured out on my own, though. The one I figured out on my own is obviously your alliance has a window of time where they're more active. For me, right when I wake up in the morning, I'm not the only one just waking up, finishing research, finishing buildings, and then queuing up new things. So that's a really good time, I found, to accept that kind of a quest and have a lot of activity in your alliance. But of course, being in a super active alliance is a really big deal. Our alliance requires you to, of course, be active every single day, ideally. But if you're not active for more than 48 hours, we're messaging you and then kicking you out of the alliance if we don't hear back, and we'll message you on Discord. And it is what it is, but if you're not active, this is not the right alliance for you, okay? And that's People who aren't used to city building war games will think that's unfair. No, 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 no. It's the only thing that's fair to your active players who contribute the most to the team and drive success. The player who logs in once every 2 days, they're lovely. They might be very nice, but like they're not the reason you win or lose. So you need to cater to the people that make you win or lose. It's not the people who log in once every 2 days. So all that to say, getting helps, being in a super active alliance is a great way to do that. The other thing you can do is have your alliance members go and accumulate a high amount of hospital and then heal that hospital and request help manually, turn off auto heal, request help manually, and then you just are ready to smash help. And literally when I was doing that, I was just sitting here with my finger on the button, just like spamming where help shows up over here, just tapping on the screen. And like you get 2 or 3 people doing that with you and you blast through those helps, bro. You absolutely blast through those helps. So I'm in a really unique spot here because I am like 400 or 500 points ahead of everybody else at the end of yesterday. Like I cannot be caught on this leaderboard, I think, as long as I continue to do 50 and 100 point quests. So I'm big chilling right now, I think. So I can wait. I don't have to do more of these quests now. Or if I was rushing, what I would do is I'd go probably and just do this 50 quest right over here. And if it turned into another 10 or 20, I would immediately start refreshing this same slot, preserving all 7 other slots to refresh on their own over the course of the next 24 hours. That would be the way I would kind of approach that. And the only reason I started with this slot over here is because, as I mentioned, shortly after reset, this one flipped over and it turned into a quest to buy 3 bundles that contain Empire coins. The other type of quest that exists is spending Empire coins. So 2 tricks for the Empire coin related quests. If it's buying bundles, you can buy $1 bundles. It's like you can buy very cheap bundles if that's what you want to do. So during the entire Alliance Glory, I would wait until, reset happened. I wouldn't buy any bundles, and I wait to buy the bundles until those quests have popped up. And then I'm like, boom, 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 let's go. But if you're someone who doesn't normally spend, there are a couple types of bundles that could be really high value. If your Lucky Moments bundle has Empire coins, it's really high value. Another bundle that is extremely high value, I would say very obviously, is the bundle for the legendary skill on a hero. And if what you need to do, right, it's this bundle that you could see from right over here, sold out, GG. Not here currently, but it's a very high value bundle. Anyways, if what you need to do is spend Empire coins, there's always like the VIP shop where you could go and spend some Empire coins. I think the 100 point quest is only 5,000 Empire coins, which you can combine that with things like the legendary advent. You can combine that with going in and buying one of these skills in the item store. It's 8,000 coins, but it's reasonable. It could be the time that you've waited and saved to then go in and get gathering skills, okay? Either legendary or epic. Epic ones are 1,800 Empire coins on your gathering heroes, right? There's tons of stuff you could spend Empire coins on. And I triple dipped on some of these things. Like I had the quest to spend Empire coins. I spun the Advent and the Halloween event, which just ended, but the Halloween event was here, so I got a bunch of event credit for having spent Empire coins. Like, you can find ways to combine those quests, and it is really nice, okay? So those are the tips I would give you for doing this event. I think that there is a little bit of randomness to how you'll do, because if you don't get the 100 point quests, like it just is what it is, someone else might. And if they're doing all the refreshing and they're optimizing their, opportunities to get more of those quests, like I've advised that you do here, then they're going to get those quests and they're going to, get more points than you that day. And it is what it is. And I also think that this event gets much, 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 much more costly to get the same result, the higher powered your city gets. So the lower powered you are, the more advantageous it is for you to push in Alliance Glory. Because for you, you can speed up a building and it's or you can speed up a research and maybe it's 12 hours of speed ups. But for someone who's already maxed all their research, GG, right? And if you're looking for cheap research, by the way, this is why my Alliance member had sort of proposed, save some of this early stuff over here. Instead of taking them to 5 out of 5, take them to 3 out of 5. And then when this event shows up, boom, You flip these over to 4 out of 5 and 5 out of 5. And they're way cheaper than some of these later researches, which are days and days. And, the other thing you can do is, try to pick research or buildings that'll end shortly after reset, if that's when you're going to be on, to, go in and maybe you'll get a quest to finish some stuff up. That is an option. But when that, didn't work out for me, I'm like, hey, it is what it is. I have speed ups. I'm going to use them because I want to place well in this event. GG's. If you enjoyed the vid, throw a like on here, consider subscribing. Alternatively, if you want to see my guidance around the Legendary Advent, this is a pretty cool one. I'll have a card over here. You can go check it out. I spun this wheel. I actually got my best 5 spin ever. Well, that won't spoil it. You can watch the video. It's right over here, man. That was crazy. That was a crazy spin.